We're back at it. So, last time we were actually getting the motor in, and this time I plan to do the steering, get the brakes, find some way to mount the cab. That's kind of the deal. I found some headers. Well, there was the headers that were on the motor, but I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to use the headers at all. I actually want to do some zoomies, so I personally don't really like headers very much, but I use them if you have to. Anyways, these just have the collectors, so I might, maybe not, I'm not sure yet, cut them off and kind of mixed. These never fit on anything. Well, maybe I'm going to cut a set of flanges. I want to build a set of zoomies. I've never had a set, so I think they'd be kind of neat. Although, I don't know how to do it because, like, you know, it's not like you can see it because the tire. Like if I did the one here, maybe I would do it and then I'll tilt them all to the one and there'll be a bundle right here. Might be kind of neat. They're usually too noisy, so that's why I don't do zoomies, but for what this thing is, we can drive around in earmuffs. It's not a big deal. But anyways, we're gonna have to modify this pedal assembly, and I can probably do a lot of this on the bench. I got this thing, and we got a whole bunch of these single pots, master cylinders. I think one of these even came off that Chevelle, maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, right here, this one. So I know this one worked, so maybe we'll make this one our master cylinder for this truck. Now, if all goes well, that thing's mangled. Oh yeah, no, this should be okay. Do we go there? I don't know, it depends where the pedal is. Maybe it's gonna be down here. But, because of where that push rod's gonna be, we gotta figure that part out. So that one's gonna be there to there. Man, it almost wants to be in the middle. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Not that big of a deal. We got that sorted. We have a steering box here. I don't have seats just yet. I have to poke at a buddy of mine with those swivel buckets because maybe those would be pretty good in there. I don't know. I do have a pair of other just junky seats. Can't remember. I think I took it out of that Ford. I had that 51, the black one I did for a friend of mine. I did a fuel tank and stuff. I have the seats out of there. I could just use those for now, just to get a feel where my butt needs to be, and then the pedals and stuff if they feel good. At some point we'll have to do floors, well, like a very simple floor. I want where I sit and whatever, where I sit good, and I want something covering the drive shaft. I'm going to keep the transmission exposed. I don't know. Never done it. Be kind of neat. And then I got to hunt around and find all the accessories, but we got to break this down as what little things right now. So for now, goal is going to be to get that master cylinder and that pedal assembly. We're going to figure out how to mash it together. We're going to put it in here and plumb our front brakes. We're not going to do the rear just because we did that. I cut that rear line and I noticed this axle seal is leaking really bad. The pinion leaks too, actually, but this one's leaking really bad, so I'm sure the brakes will be really either grabby or crap. So I'm not going to give it rear brakes. The option's always there, but I cut that line. I might have a line, but I don't know if it's necessary for what I'm doing with this thing. We'll see. For now, I'll plumb it the one way. This thing actually I could go both, but for now I can plumb it to each individual front line because it's got 2 1/4-inch lines coming out of it, so I can do that for each side and not have to worry about it. And then I'd like to get, like I say, big picture would be that, and get the front brakes go and get this steering box sorted out. So the steering box, I wanted to do cowl steering, but it's just, I don't know, there's a whole lot of rigmarole and I don't think I want to spend the time to try to figure it out. So we're going to mount the steering box down here, and we'll have to reverse the arm because you can see, well, if I take this thing and just kind of junkily throw it onto the car here for truck. Oh. Ooh, that was close. Come on. Anyways, that's not a good example, but you can see how the, what do you call that? Your idler arm? I don't know. Pitman arm? Steering box. The steering arm is like in, because this thing used to sit here on the truck. So I'm putting in the rear. It's still going to push-pull the same. Should, if I do the math on it. Should work the same. And we'll probably cut this off and flip it so this thing kind of bows out, and then these things can kind of line up-ish. That's what we're shooting for anyways. Okay, now I'm questioning myself. It should work the same. So if I steer to the right, it's going to pull this arm. Yeah, it's going to work fine. When I steer to the right, it's going to pull this arm back, and I'm going to go right. So, mint. This is going to work good. Or I think it's going to work good. Okay. First things first. We're going to work on the master cylinder. We're going to do that on the bench, get a rod made, figure that part out. Once that's good, we can kind of loosey-goosey bolt it into there. I got to play with it with... I can't... Well, maybe if I put the truck down. I can open a door. Okay. Yeah. Like we're channeled a bit. Figure it out. Let's just make it work on the bench, and then we'll figure it out where we're gonna punch a hole in the firewall and do all that jazz. I am officially wandering around the yard now looking for that steering column. I think in part 1 I had a GM steering column from a 50s truck. Well, I'll be darned if I can't find it anymore. And it used to sit in the shop, so now I'm wandering through all my sheds to see if I can, for some weird reason, if I put it somewhere or I have it there, I don't know. And I'm looking for an end for the steering box anyways. We're kind of working on that. Yeah, I'm trying to puzzle some pieces together here, and I'm not being very successful at it. I'll end up spending half my day looking for parts. Anyways, I'm trying to find a joint that'll connect onto a rag joint that I can attach to the bottom of said steering column. But they don't have it in this shed, so I guess we're going to the other shed. My other little sheds, I think I have some of those there, because we're just going to make the steering column go through, but I'm not attaching it to, well, maybe we could, like a modern car. Now that I think about it, because our cares aren't very high. Yeah, maybe we're going to do that. I don't know. We'll find out here. We'll see. It'll make it zero serviceable, but I don't care. It's only got to work for now. Well, I'm digging through here, and none of the bits are what I think they are. Like, I was thinking I can get like this part of the column, but that one on that truck's pretty big. The rag joint is good, so I think all I am going to do is cut a flange that we can weld at the bottom of the steering column and then attach it to the rag joint that's on it. I don't see the point in trying to re-engineer something if all the bits are... Whoa. This might work. This might. If not, no big deal. I think we just hodge that out and we drill it to the steering column, then we can attach it. The reason why I'm thinking about going back to using this on there, because it's supposed to be like in this fashion, is I feel the steering column's not going to be perfectly straight. I'm going to need it to go at a little bit of an angle. So, yeah, I'll bring this back, see if this works. If not, we'll cut something. Not a big deal. We have a plasma table that can make all the parts that we don't have, so I don't think there's anything else I need in here. I got Ryder slowly trying to move this over to the other sheds so I can actually move these sheds closer to the shop so I don't have to walk across the yard, especially in the winter. I won't be cleaning this side of the yard anymore, so it makes it hard to get into these sheds because the snow starts to pile up. So, and you know, I'm always looking for parts, so. So, hunted around, I found some parts. I couldn't find my steering column. I do not know why. I was sure I had it over there, so I don't know. I think I've been a half hour, 40 minutes trying to find that. I found another one. Doesn't have the horn button. Well, I found the shaft. I had a chunk of tube in the shop, so somewhere around here. So we're kind of making the column. So what I was digging around, I found that little bit. This is the rag joint that belongs on here. So, which is a win, because this thing actually fits nicely into there. So we got a little bit of give if this doesn't work. This end sort of fits on there. So I don't know, when it comes time, I might machine that a little bit. I'm not gonna, because it's got a spline. We'll clamp it, but we're gonna weld it on. Not a big deal for what this truck's gonna be. So, what do we all do? Pedal assembly. I basically cut the clutch off of it. I loosely set it up so that this thing lines up with here. One of the rods that were these support rods is gonna work well to use as the push rod because it fits on here nice, and it'll line up with where our clutch is gonna go, or sorry, our master cylinder will kind of sit on here, well, the other way around, but it's gonna sit on here, and then push rod works, yada yada. I'm gonna add a little brace over to this side, not too important, but I don't want to put this pedal assembly in just yet. What I'm gonna do is figure out roughly where my seat is gonna go, or my steering wheel. And then, I don't know, I might throw a board, sit on a seat to see where my steering wheel feels good, because then we can make sure this pedal assembly is in the right zone, that it's not interfering with my steering column. So, I guess the next step is gonna be basically mocking up the steering box, because I took the arm off of this so we can nicely get it into wherever it's got to go here, which we're going to have to make a plate that's going to weld onto there to hold this sucker, but ugh. And then we got to do a series of modifying. Ugh, this thing's heavy. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm thinking that thing's got to go this way somehow. So, well, mind you, we can maybe attach this into the cab. So I'm going to either use the rag joint or I'm not. I don't know yet. We'll see how once I punch a hole through here, get this steering box sitting into the cab, because we're going to have to cut that arm off so I can re-clock it so it sits pretty centered. I'd like this box is kind of as far back, but enough that when I steer it doesn't hit the body. So when we go full lock, I got to figure out what full lock is that way, and then we can set it to work. Yeah, I don't know. So I think first things first is we are going to shoe a hole through here, get this steering box back as close as I can to the firewall, and then we're going to make a plate. I might have to make the plate first. When you look here, the way I like the steering box, it's actually on, well, you know, if I got some 1/4 inch, we'll kind of do that, and then we can do 2 gussets on either side. I think we'll be okay. Then we can kind of make a filler inside onto this nub. Okay. What I'm going to start with is roughly where I think the steering column should come through the angle. I don't know. Let me do some maths here and then punch a hole through there, and then we'll start cutting some stuff on the table and get our steering box at least mounted, and then we'll figure out a floor, throw some plywood in there and a chair, and see where I like things.
Well, let's try a different chair, because this last one sucked. Even this one doesn't want to cooperate. Oh, okay. now I can see at least. Now we'll see how the steering looks. Well, I think this will be okay. Not sure here. We'll find out. I gotta do a drop column. I think we'll work on mounting the steering box. I feel that's pretty good right there, so. This seat's better than the other one. New seats are crappy because the back is so thick. It just sucks. Anyways, I need to shorten this. And we need to mount that. I think that's gonna work where it is, so. We'll make some brackets, zap that steering box there, and then we can figure out how to attach this to it. Not doing too shabby.
What?
Says you're not doing too shabby. You're getting her.
Yeah.
You're getting her patched up one hole at a time. The floors don't look as bad as when we started. And you did pretty good. You did that one all by himself. I have to do less babysitting. You're figuring it out. I think you're on, what is that now? Day 2 basically, or is it 3? 3? Yeah. Getting there. It's a long road. There's a lot of patching, but the floors, that's just something to practice and learn on. So all you gotta do is finish welding them all up. Then we're gonna seam seal them. We'll probably paint it first, and then we'll seam seal everything up. And then we can start working on all the outside. The dog leg will be the hard one to do yet. Well, the steering box is on. Not fully welded because, well, to be honest, I had to cut it. It's still a wee bit crooked, but I put it on what I thought was kind of be okay, and ended up being like really crooked. So I cut it, I moved it. It's a wee bit tweaked, but that's okay because it'll just work better to with my steering kind of thing. I'm just using that as an excuse because it's not straight, but anyways, I think I chatted before. These other seats are terrible because they're way too much bulk in there. This one's better. I sit better, I see better, so that's okay. Steering column's through. It should work. We're gonna need the rag joints. I'm gonna need to kick it up a little bit. At least now I can figure out roughly where my pedal assembly is gonna hang down for my brakes. Haven't made a brace for this thing yet. I'm gonna do that. Not much else to say. Basically, I've been getting my TIG practice because Austin's been using the welder over there. He's kind of plugging away doing his floors, so he's gone in the house right now. He's having some
lunch or something. I don't know. Taking a break anyways.
But he's plugging away. He's getting all the little patches. He's kind of, you know, fixing some of his bobos, and he's kind of just doing his own thing now. So, which is good. Like, he's getting the hang of it. So he's not afraid to jump over here. He's using the plasma. He likes that. And then he basically clean. The thing I don't like when you use the plasma is the edge is really hard. You don't want to run it through the shear or anything after, because it's hard on the teeth. But anyways, he uses the plasma. He likes that. Then he basically trims the edge, like grinds the edge on it, and then it's ready to rip in there. This is some of the burnt stuff that I had, but it is like 18 gauge, so it's pretty, you know, it's thick. So, and it's just floors. When we started doing the outside patches on the car and stuff, I have, I think, still half a sheet or something that we'll use some nice new steel for that. But at least this way he can, I don't know, screw up as much as he wants, because it's basically free steel at this point. So, okay, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is probably pull the plasma over. I'm going to roughly get my pedals where I think they should be. I am just going to blow all the holes in. We'll just do both of the washers for what we're doing here. This is going to be totally fine. And you guys think it's supper time? Is that the plan? Okay. That's how I know when both of you actually show up. All right, let's feed the dogs and start cutting some holes in the firewall. Oh, what was I going to say? The pitman arm. Well, I keep calling it pitman arm. Idle arm, pitman arm, I don't know. This arm. Man, if this thing wasn't tapered, it'd be perfect on the other way. Like, it would be awesome. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I could cut it, but I think what I'm going to try to do, which should be doable, I'm going to take it on the vise here. We're going to heat the beans out of it, and we're going to bend it the opposite way. That way, well, whatever, this thing's just going to work. And it'll have, well, my goal is to get it on that angle. I don't know if that'll happen, but we should be getting close to that versus, you know, right now it's an innie, and I need it to be an outie. Yes, all right, I'll feed you. Made a little bit of a mess. So had the master cylinder bolted in, and the pedal assembly bolted to the firewall. Haven't done anything with it to the dash side of it. We just have a clamp for now. The pedal's okay. I opted to get it on, like, it sort of wanted to work over here, but I opted to put it over on the left side of the steering. Reason being is, yeah, well, that was fine. I can bend this pedal a little bit out of the way, and then, oh yeah, I thought about, whatever. We'll bend the pedal out of the way, and just gives my foot a lot of room just to put a gas pedal in here, basically. Up here, I think I'll just punch 2 holes quick, bolt it to the dash, call it a day.
That should be fine. What else we got? Oh, we got the MIG and finished blitzing up everything over there. Ugh, man, I made a big mess here. Oh well. Looks like we have just enough room we can squeeze through there. I think in my head I have an idea. I'm gonna try to do like a, well, I'm still gonna try to do the zoomy style, but when the tire is closed, I'm thinking if I can do this, bring them all into just one bundle here. So it'll be like just kind of shotgun pipe style, but just all of them. If I can do it, they'll be into it like a bundle, almost like a collector style, but that's what I'm hoping for. Anyways, next I'm going to, I guess, try to fit the steering column. I think that is the next plan. Little test fit. Kind of did the steering column a little short, but I got a long arm, so it's well, it's kind of crooked, but we kind of knew that going into it. We got a wobble. We got to move our brake pedal because it's kind of hitting everything, but it looked like it's gonna work. It wants to steer, so. Okay. We're gonna have to make a drop bracket for here, for the column. And we're gonna have to bend our brake pedal out of the way. There's not a lot of room, but my knuckles don't hit the dash, so. And then it feels pretty good to get to the brake. I guess if I made it a little bit longer, it'd be better. But we'll just go higher. I don't know. I kind of like it like that. That's all that matters. I'll make a little shifter right there. In business. Okay. All right. I gotta figure out my drop bracket. Hold on. Where were we going? Right there. 2 fingers down. Should be good. Well, that steers super easy. Look at that stuff. Now it is big truck stuff, so it's probably like 40 turns lock to lock. Let me see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5? You're not doing anything in a hurry. Let me see again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and a bit. 5 lock to lock. Whatever. So for people who have OCD, steering wheel's not centered to the dash, steering wheel's not centered here. We got a lot of cool stuff going. But yeah, man, cool. Brake, don't quite like where it is, but I'm gonna extend the pedal over so we can at least do that. I got lots of room for my gas pedal though, so that's good. Mind you, the brake's not terrible. I think I just gotta make the pedal a little bit wider. Then it'll be okay. Cool. What do we got left here? I guess I'll make some mounts to do the brake lines. And maybe we'll run the brake lines. Why not? I'm starting to like this plywood floor, but I need to cover this. This is gonna be an important thing to cover. Yes. Okay. Let's finish up our brakes.
Well, that was a little bit of a waste of time. Well, not fully. On the brake side, I grabbed that master from the Chevelle, not thinking much about it, but the bore size is wrong, so it's like no bueno. If you grab the steering wheel and put 2 feet, it moves, I think, 1/8 of an inch, and then it stops. But when you look at this one, this is like, I can't remember what that one is. That one's like 3/4 inch or something like that, and then this is 1 inch and almost 1 1/4 inches. So I'm gonna have to revamp and put this one in. It sucks. I don't feel like doing that right now though. And then I'm gonna have to redo this and put a T in there so we can at least get the front, because that one had like front and rear coming out of the one. Boo. I don't know, I just grabbed whatever and I'm like, man, it'll be fine. No, not so much. Yeah, you just can't push the pedal down. I mean, it'll work, but it's not very comfortable or enjoyable. So anyways, we got the steering in. Like I said, this thing steers like a dream. Look at that. That is just mint. We have so much rake on there, the front of the truck will want to go wonk, wonk. Watch when I steer. Look at this thing, eh? It's awesome. So, yeah. So that happened. Oh well. Not a biggie. Like I say, I got another one right there. I just got to redo some plumbing and probably drill 2 more holes for it, but could be a lot of worse things. You know, had all the brake line, had everything here, so. And all we're going for is front brake, so not that big of a deal. Huh. I don't know. I mean, we almost got brakes. I think we almost succeeded. Man. Oh well. Anyways, I'm thinking that is where we are going to leave this one. I think I did what I wanted to do. Well, I have brakes technically, but I don't know if I get to feel like messing with that right now. But we have steering. Steering is in. The brakes are plumbed, so we just got to change the master. That'll be easy as pie. We didn't get anywhere with the floor. We didn't do any of that stuff, but I have another seat like this, so this is going to work. I'll have to figure out some floor stuff. I honestly think I'm just going to weld the body to the chassis because, well, who cares? It is what it is. But we're going to have to figure gas pedal. We got a bunch of stuff. Didn't get to the exhaust, but I kind of figured that might happen. But we still got room. So even if I do change this stuff around, because there's going to be a single coming out, so as long as I can get these two to tee into something, and then up into that other master, we'll be golden. And then we can start working on the headers. What we're going to do for headers. Anyways, I think that is where we are going to leave this one. As always, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later. Bada boom. Bada bing, buddy. Bada boom. Bada bing, buddy. Bada boom. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. You ready, bud? You don't care, eh? Well, now, turns out I was really blind. I was talking to Esther, and it's like, where did I do with that steering column? It just happens to be sitting on that old chassis that I didn't use.